Welcome, everybody, to Make Football Great Again, your definitive 48-nation roadmap to the 2026 World Cup. I'm Harry Brent, and over the coming weeks, we're profiling every single nation heading to the tournament this summer to find out more, not just about the teams, but about the countries, coaches, and fans involved. As for today, we're covering Turkey, and I'm delighted to say that we're joined by Turkish Football Podcast host Ahmet Bob Turgut, otherwise known as Soccer Bob. Ahmet, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome to the show. How's it all going?
Thank you very much, Harry, and great to be on your program, on your podcast. I'm doing fine. How about you?
Yeah, very, very good. I mean, excited for the World Cup. You're based in New York, aren't you? So you'll be right on the ground floor, won't you, when the tournament kicks off? In a second, we'll learn all about Turkey and what we can expect from them generally at the tournament. But before we get officially cracking, Ahmet, I just want to kick off with a segment I like to call One Truth and One Lie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present two seemingly crazy facts about the Turkish national team. One of those facts is 100% true. The other fact is completely made up. I'll read them back to back, and it's up to you to work out which is the true fact. So, fact number one. To prevent regional favoritism, the Turkish FA once passed a law that stated that if Turkey's national team captain was born on the European side of Istanbul, then the vice captain must therefore be a player born on the Asian side of Istanbul. Obviously, Istanbul divided by the split, the sort of continental divide exactly runs through the city. Fact number two. Turkey qualified for the 1954 World Cup thanks to a blindfolded 14-year-old Italian boy who pulled their name out of a hat. So, which do you think is the true fact? Did Turkey qualify for the 1954 World Cup thanks to a 14-year-old Italian boy, or was there a law that stated that the vice captain and captain?
Number two is false.
Number two is false. So what? So do you think that the true fact is the vice captain and captain had to be split on either sides of Istanbul? Is that what you're going for?
No, I think that's also false too. That's not true at all, because it depends on who's the oldest and who's the best player on the team, who's mature player on the national team.
Well, I can say that is true. I mean, according to my research, the second fact was true. You may have it right. I may have made a mistake, but according to my research, Turkey did qualify out of a hat because they basically in the qualifying stages with Spain, they finished level on points. It was only a group of just two of them against just Turkey and Spain. They played each other twice, won a game each, and then had a playoff. And that playoff ended in a draw. And then this was before penalty shootouts were a thing. So they had to pull the name out of a hat. And the game was played in Italy. An Italian stadium official came along and just said, here's my son. He'll pull the name out of the hat. And it was Turkey.
Well, Henry, going back to your story, back in 1954, I was born. I was born in 1958, first of all. But I heard it was because the economic reasons that 1954 World Cup, Turkey did not go. They qualified, but they did not go. Maybe your story is true than mine.
Yes, well, we'll take it. We'll sort of accept a mix of those. We'll have to maybe fact check that at the end of this. But anyway, so Turkey, despite the Turkish Super League being one of the biggest and most passionate divisions in the world, Turkey themselves haven't been regulars at the World Cup. I mean, as we've mentioned, we had the qualification in 1954, but also, they qualified for the 2002 World Cup, their last appearance at the World Cup, where they reached the semi-finals and ultimately finished third after beating co-host South Korea in the third and fourth place playoff match, a game where Hakan Şükür scored the fastest goal in World Cup history after just 10.8 seconds. This summer, they're in Group D alongside the USA, Australia, and Paraguay. And if Turkey win that group and England finish runners-up in theirs, we could eventually get an England versus Turkey quarter-final. But before we talk about the 2026 World Cup, I just want to begin with a section we call the travel log. So in this section, I just want to find out a little bit more about Turkey as a culture, as a footballing history, and the kind of, the energy behind the team. So to kick us off, tell us, who is Turkey's footballing GOAT?
Right now, or in the past, also too. All time,
of all time.
all time. I think you would probably put Mit, Metin also Lefter. Metin Oktay from Galatasaray, Lefter from Fenerbahçe, and many others. There's great players from Beşiktaş too. Also,
What is Turkey's most celebrated football result? Would we pick a game at the 2002 World Cup? They also reached the semi-finals of the Euros in 2008. Would it be a game from one of those tournaments, or is there another one that they hold up?
Probably the biggest moment in Turkish football history, I would say 2002 in the World Cup, becoming third place, especially that exciting match against, I believe, against Senegal, 3-2 finish. Also, a very good high speeding match against South Korea. That was probably the best moment of Turkish football if we go back to 2002.
If Turkey get knocked out this summer, which nation would fans hate to see go on and lift the trophy?
That's tough to answer that question, but I think from the group, probably it will be a Paraguay or Australia.
Right, and there's nobody else, local neighbours or anybody that they would really not like to see go and lift the trophy. Who are Turkey's biggest rivals, I guess, is my question.
Turkey's biggest rivals, if you talk about the probably region, probably would be Greece, but I don't think Greece is in it. So they're not going to be in there. So I don't think they have, as political wise it might be, but I think if you ask any Greeks and Turks, they're pretty much friendly to each other. So I don't think there will be any regrets if they were in it. But I think having Italian coach and not having Italian team in the World Cup, I think most of the Italians will support Turkish team this World Cup.
That's a very good point. Yeah, we'll come on to him in a second. Two to my knowledge, former Italian players. Fabio Cannavaro, of course, managing Uzbekistan.
Right.
Turkish foot stadiums, particularly we think of it in England as being the loudest, the most passionate stadiums in the world, really, or up there certainly with some of the loudest and most passionate. What is it about Turkish football that produces such fire, such venom on match day?
Well, probably if you're a Turkish Super League watcher, regularly watches the match from outside Turkey, you'll probably say the stadium, Galatasaray Stadium, Fenerbahçe Stadium, Beşiktaş Stadium in Istanbul. One of those is probably the teams that play in European competition. But we also have teams even play in a second lower division, like team like Bursaspor, and a team like who plays in the Turkish Super League, Kocaelispor, and team that used to be in Turkish Super League, Eskişehirspor. They have a very good fan base. Whenever they play, even if they play in a lower division, they have a full house. You'll probably see it online or any of the foreign news that last couple weeks ago in Bursa, they had the full house and they're playing in lower division. So pretty much, I think if we talk about the big teams, big threes from Istanbul, the biggest fans, I would say, I don't want to be get balled by a lot of the other fans, but I would say Galatasaray, Beşiktaş, and Fenerbahçe fans are the loudest in Turkish Super League.
Well, speaking of Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe, in 1996, English football legend Graham Souness, who was manager of Galatasaray at that point, nearly started a riot when he famously planted a giant Galatasaray flag in the center circle.
I remember that.
Of Fenerbahçe's pitch after beating Fenerbahçe in a cup final. It's been 30 years since that day. Is he still viewed as a a hero of Galatasaray and a villain by Fenerbahce fans, or have we all moved on?
I mean, people that remember that still have a bad, sour feeling about that. But as far as the Galatasaray fans, they love them. So, but we're talking about different generation now. You know, the young generation doesn't remember it, but I think the Galatasaray officials, Galatasaray websites sometimes bring that up, that scene, and the young generation knows. But I think, yeah, Galatasaray fans love him, and there's a love and hate relationship there between Galatasaray fans and Fenerbahce fans.
For sure, that's putting it lightly, I'd say. Hakan Şükür, another Galatasaray hero, is Turkey's all-time top goal scorer and a legend of Turkish football. 3 separate stints at Galatasaray, but he's now a political exile. He ventured into politics after his playing career ended. As we said, forced out of the country in exile, now living in the United States, apparently quite recently as an Uber driver. What do Turkish fans think of Hakan Şükür now? Is he still a legend in Turkey, or has his reputation in the country been destroyed by the political controversy that's come in the last few years?
I'm going to talk about him as a soccer player, football player, who played for Galatasaray and Turkish national team. I have no regrets to say anything about his political stuff, what he chose to do. I am pretty much against what he did, but I could say this, without all that putting aside, I think he's right now, if you Google him, right now he's the top scorer, as you said, in the Turkish football. And also, he's in the record books in the World Cup. He is the fastest goal scorer in the World Cup. So that record still is with him. That's what I'm going to say. As far as football player, soccer player, he was great. He had all these records. But I'm not going to go into his political side and talk about it. And I just want to confirm and say this. I don't agree with him going into politics, and look what happened to him. And I think at the time I might had a couple articles I wrote about him. I said he should not be in the politics when you're successful football player in Turkey, and that was his mistake. I think his mistakes bite him right now, and I feel bad for him in the case as a football player, because he was a great football player for Turkey.
Turkish players have a tendency of becoming cult heroes at clubs in England, whether it's Tugay at Blackburn, Muzzy Izzet at Leicester, Emre Belözoğlu at Newcastle. Which Turkish player for you had the best career in England?
Without a doubt, Tugay. Tugay was the best. You got to remember, at the age he came to England to play, it was something else, and he made himself work harder to prove that he was the very good player at his age. And without a doubt, it's not Hakan Şükür, it's not Emre, it's Tugay in my book, because he had, I'm sure if you ask any of the fans, Blackburn fans will say Tugay Kerimoğlu.
Yeah, an absolute rocket of a right foot. Scored a couple of goals.
Henry, I feel bad. One thing about it, I know I told you this offline. He should have stayed in England, and he could have been a very good coach after he got all that knowledge about football playing in Europe. He could have given that knowledge to a young Turks who's living in England. Also, pretty much any team that he would coach. I think that was the biggest mistake, him returning to Turkey.
A lot of Turkish footballers, or I should say, a lot of footballers with Turkish heritage have ended up playing for different national teams, whether it's Mesut Ozil, İlkay Gündoğan, Gökhan Inler. do Turkish people look at those players and are they proud of those players for what they've achieved, or are they envious that they didn't end up representing Turkey?
Well, I know there's a bad feeling about Emre Can right now, who plays in England, because he did not choose Turkey. But the thing is, those players that you just mentioned, İlkay Gündoğan, and also we talk about the other, Mesut Özil, they were probably at their peak, and there was no reason. I mean, with Mesut Özil, they say that there was a lot of confrontation because at the time the Turkish coach didn't want him. He came to a Turkish national team, but I don't know if it's all true. But I think it was their personal decision that they made, and born in Germany or whatever, they decided to choose the different national team, and they probably regret it now. But I think all the money that Mesut Özil and İlkay Gündoğan made, and he's still making, he's playing Galatasaray, but he's not the İlkay Gündoğan we know when he played for Manchester City. He's hardly playing for Galatasaray. I think, right now, I think he's ready to coach. He's got his FIFA coaching license. We might see İlkay Gündoğan coaching somewhere in Europe in the future.
You're a Turkish American living in the States, in New York, as we mentioned
Correct.
at the top. Mm-hmm. What is support for Turkey going to be like in the US, particularly this summer? And where will your allegiances lie when Turkey face the USA in the group?
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. As probably you heard the latest news, Turkey will have 2 friendly matches. Remember when we talked last time off there that I didn't know that if they were going to have any friendly matches. They will have 1 friendly match on June 1st in Istanbul against North Macedonia. Then they will travel to East Florida in Fort Lauderdale. They will play against Venezuela in June 6th. Now, seeing Turkish national team here last year in June in Connecticut, in east side, northeast here, they beat the United States national team 2-1. We saw all those young stars, golden generation there, and there were about 30,000 Turkish American fans there, along with American fans. And I think pretty much whether in this group, whether USA or Turkey gets out, I think American Turkish people living in the United States will be happy one way or another. But I think mostly, if you look at the group, I think Turkey should be the number 1 in this group. So Turkish fans will follow them. And, United States and Canada is a big country. Their first match will be happening in Vancouver. Then they have to travel to San Francisco, then Los Angeles, the last match.
Right, we'll move on to the scouting report section. So here we'll just talk a little bit more about the players and the sort of team and what we can expect from Turkey this summer. So,
sure.
Ahmed, just remind us, for the British fans tuning in, who are we going to recognize in Turkey's squad? Are there any Premier League players, any former Premier League players, any big players from outside of the Premier League that we should know about? What can you tell us?
In the Premier League, you will see Ferdi Kadıoğlu, the man that I told you last time, and I think Ferdi Kadıoğlu, who's making names right now. I know Manchester United is after him, and who plays for Brighton and Hove, and he's a great left fullback. He could play left and right fullback. He's a winger. He could be a winger too. I think he will be a great name to promote himself in this World Cup from England. But as far as the other, the golden generation that we talked about that plays outside of Turkey, you got Arda Güler, who plays for Real Madrid. As a matter of fact, his goal, 63-yard goal, became the best goal in La Liga. So that's something else. You have the champion from Inter Milan, Hakan Şükür, the captain. You have Kenan Yıldız, who's 21 years old now, from Juventus. You got Okan Kökçü from Beşiktaş in the midfield. İsmail Yükselen from Fenerbahçe. And you have, I think, this goalkeeper, Uğurcan Çakır, who used to play for Trabzonspor, now plays for Galatasaray, should make a name for himself, just like Rüştü Reçber made a name for himself back in 2002. And one great thing I think the goalkeeper who had 12 clean sheets in French league, Berk Özer, should be the second string goalkeeper for Turkish national team. I'm dying given this information because I just hope the Turkish Football Federation officials and coach Vincenzo Montella should make up with Berk Özer, whatever he did. Both sides should apologize to each other, especially Berk Özer. He should be the second goalkeeper because you cannot depend on Altay Bayındır, who plays for Manchester United, who has not played any matches. And Matt Günok, who used to play for Beşiktaş, who now plays for Fenerbahçe, not in great shape, and he's also getting old. So I think if they ask me, and a lot of the Turkish fans know this, Berk Özer should be the second string goalkeeper there.
You mentioned a few names there already, but who would you say is Turkey's talisman? Who's the person that they're going to look to this summer to fire them to glory in whatever shape glory may take?
Arda Güler. No doubt about it. I think Kenan Yıldız is the next one. And seeing Arda Güler last year, June, in Kinetic Stadium, when he was walking into that field, I was in the sideline, and bunch of the kids that came into the stadium for promotional things from the youth level soccer teams, at least 50 of them. I still have the picture I took. Their heads turned to Arda Güler. I think Arda Güler made a good name for himself as a teenager, and probably let's hope that he's going to be healthy, as Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Arda Güler are injured. They're not playing their team matches in their league. They said that they will be ready for a World Cup. But one thing, I know you probably have other questions, but I think traveling between Turkey to Florida, from Florida to Vancouver, from Vancouver to California, San Francisco, and then Los Angeles, there's going to be a lot of traveling. One thing about this June 6th match in Florida, in Inter Miami's stadium, after playing the match against North Macedonia on June 1st, there's only 5 days between that, and you have to travel. You don't, for a normal person, when they travel from Turkey to United States, they don't recoup in 1 day or 2 days. So I don't know what these football players playing for a Turkish national team is going to do. But as far as the injury list, we have Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and right now, as we talk, and Arda Güler still injured with their team.
You mentioned Çalhanoğlu, Arda Güler, Kenan Yıldız, I should say, there as well. You also referred to it as a golden generation. Do you think Turkey, if everybody's fit, do you think people are underestimating how much quality Turkey have?
Yeah, I mean, I think United States U.S. national team knows that. They're not undermining. And a lot of the soccer heads, if you talk to here, football heads in the United States, they're all already saying that Turkey is the best team in this group. Now, could things will be different as far as the United States national team? They have not announced their roster for a World Cup. They will announce it on June 20, I believe May 26th. And they have a problem on defense. They have a problem selecting striker for the team. and a couple players there right now, who would be. So United States national team has got a lot of problems. As far as Australia, Turkey shouldn't have any problem against them in the first match, but things could go wrong. And Paraguay, it should be fine, but Paraguay is very physical team. It, it it is all up to a Turkish national team how would react to a team that plays very physical. So, yeah, overall, everyone thinks that Turkey should finish in first in this group. I think the last match in Los Angeles between United States national team against Turkey will decide this group who will be the top two.
What is fan expectation like, in the sense that you sort of mentioned there, a lot of people would say Turkey are possibly the strongest team in this group. Having said that, Turkey haven't been in a World Cup for 24 years. And on top of, but on the flip side of that, the last World Cup they participated in, they got to the semi-final. So what are fans expecting this summer?
Well, because of this golden generation that we have, and even though they came through the playoffs, they did not qualify directly, because when you have Spain in your group, you're not going to be a number one in that group. So they did what they had to do with this golden generation. I said this in June I asked the question, Vincenzo Montella. This is the golden generation needs to be in the World Cup. And I asked him, will these guys will be in the World Cup? He said, I am trying my 150%, which he did, because winning those two playoff matches, first against Romania, and then, second match, I think it was a good thing. They made it through the playoffs, and I think now they have a very good group. Getting out of this group shouldn't have any problems. Things could go wrong, because the only thing, I say golden generation, but playing in the World Cup, you need experience. So the players with the teams with experienced players who played in World Cup will make a difference. That's one handicap that we have, because World Cup. Speaking of World Cup, Kenan Yıldız, Arda Güler, many other players were not even born back in 2002. So they're very young, but I think Arda Güler's vision of football, even though he slows down the game a little bit when he plays, but his vision on the pitch could make things different. Let's just hope that he's healthy for all those three matches.
Yeah, 100%. It should be very exciting to watch him in action. I mean, it already is watching him in action for Real Madrid, but I'm sure Turkey fans will be expecting a lot from him. Turkey's manager, we mentioned him a lot already, Vincenzo Montella, a former Italy international, spent a few months on loan at Fulham in 2007, still very well regarded there. What's the verdict on him in Turkish circles?
Well, when he came to Turkey, he first coached in the Turkish Super League with Adana Demirspor. And Adana Demirspor president, now that Adana Demirspor that was in the Super League, believe it or not, they're dropping down probably to amateur league, as far as that fast. But at the time, the president of the Adana Demirspor president told the Turkish Football Federation officials that Vincenzo Montella was a really good coach. If they wanted, they would give permission to coach Turkish national team. So they did. They hired him after the German coach that we had. They were struggling a little bit. So I think Vincenzo Montella brought Turkish national team from B League to A League, and he's been doing good. I think he's his record is good with the Turkish national team. He's a great coach and great communicator, and I think a lot of the golden generation players on the team, Turkish national team, likes him, and pretty much everyone, even the Turkish Football federation president likes him. So I think there's good things happening, but you never know in Turkey if you don't do good in this World Cup and got bad scores, bad results, you might lose your job after end of the World Cup 2026. That's what just happened with back in 2002 when Şenol Güneş coached the Turkish national team.
If you could turn one England player into a Turk for this summer's tournament, who would you pick and why?
One England player. There's a lot of players. Right now I don't. Excuse my mind blocked right now, but you could mention a couple names for me. But I watch EPL. Go ahead.
Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka.
Cole Palmer. Just watched Saka just yesterday. Yeah. I think even though all the problems he had, I think Saka is going to make a name for himself in the England national team.
Well, he's coming back into
the other
a bit of
players that you just mentioned because their age and stuff. Bellingham, he's not old, but I think Bellingham, he's not the Bellingham that we saw a season before. This season, I don't think he's doing much for his club.
No, he's had a few injury problems and whatever else. Right. So it's been a challenging season for him. But yeah, fingers crossed for an England standpoint, he's back to his best this summer. Right, we'll just wrap up with some rapid fire questions about the World Cup, and then I'll get your controversial prediction for the tournament, Ahmed. So first of all, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who is winning the 2026 World Cup?
I say France.
France, okay. Where did Turkey finish?
I'm hoping they could go to quarterfinals, but I think making it to round of 16 should be a good for them.
Okay. Who's winning the Golden Ball? So the best player at the tournament.
That is the.
I guess
the player that Michael Olise, I love him.
Yes,
he's a winger. I don't know. He will score a lot of goals. Mbappe.
Yeah. Well, exactly. France have got a few players to pick from, haven't they?
Right. And I think if Saka is healthy, when he was great, I think we might put Saka in right there too. I can't say any of the names from Turkish national team because we don't have a striker. We have the wingers who play striker. That's one handicap that Vincenzo Montella has in this World
Cup. Arda Turan or Emre Belözoğlu?
Arda Turan, without no question. Because look at even though. One thing I'm not gonna what he done when he was playing football, what he did to his former coach, and one of my good friends who was journalist on the plane. I regret what he did, but I think he learned from his mistakes. Right now, he's coaching in Ukraine League. His team is in first place. They will grab the first. Probably first place. They will be the champion. They're in Conference League. I believe they lost the first match against English team. Without a doubt, Arda Turan. I saw Emre Belözoğlu, both of them, when they were really young. As far as a player, Arda Turan was probably much better.
Hakan Şükür or Burak Yilmaz?
No question, Hakan Şükür.
Hakan Şükür. Turkey's 2002 World Cup semi-final team or Turkey's 2008 Euros semi-final team?
Probably 2002, the third place team.
And lastly, just to wrap us up, what is your controversial / outrageous prediction for the 2026 World Cup?
with Messi being almost 40 years old, winning the World Cup. But I doubt it. Having seen him playing in Inter Miami lately, you cannot play like that in a World Cup. You know, yeah, I hope that he plays. I know everywhere he goes, he sells uniforms and he sells tickets for the in the stands. But I think Messi with you know, it will be something else winning the World Cup back to back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, yeah, still for my money, one of the best players, if not the best player still around.
I think if you ask me right now, Messi is businessman / football player. He owns so much.
Yes, he's doing very well business-wise, that's for sure.
Right. But thanks to Beckham.
Yes, well, exactly. Yeah, the
Beckham, you know, English people should be proud of Beckham, what he done in United States.
Yes, I mean, I can say safely they absolutely are. He's done some great stuff there as a player and as an administrator as well for sure.
Correct.
Well, Ahmed, thank you very much. I really appreciate you giving us your time there. And that does it for our Turkey preview. Let us know in the comments how you think Turkey will get on this summer, and join us next time for more stories, insights, and deep dives as our global scouting mission continues as we count down the days to the 2026 World Cup. Until next time, keep making football great again.